What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Evan on this side. Your boy Will is in New Jersey, New Walk, hanging out, chilling in the cold. But we are still here, and we are back to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege. So we'll get right into it. Will, what's a couple topics that we can get off right off the rip?
Well, Combine just happened. I know you got back from that not long ago. So
yeah, that was a long weekend, that's for sure. Long week.
Yeah. What was it looking like out there for you? Is it stuff you like, stuff you don't like?
I think so. It's like in the football world, and we've talked about this in the NBA world with Summer League and stuff like that. But like with regards to the NFL and the Combine, and generally speaking, if you're involved in the NFL, whether you have a client there or not, it's just one of those things you have to be there for. It's not something you can duplicate. It's not something you can like meet as many people at. It's, it's the world of football is in one city for 1 week. So, however you use it to your advantage, however you use it to better, acquaint yourself in the industry, whether it's coaching jobs, clients, whatever it is, it doesn't even matter at that point. It's just, you have to be there. I think in general, though, this was probably like overall speed, not just like one position or one fast guy. I would say like this was probably one of the fastest combines I've ever, witnessed. Like just in a long time, like overall speed in general was just like, I've never seen so many 4.2s, so many 4.3s, 4.4s for some of the bigger guys. Like it was actually like very impressive on the speed side. But I think I've even talked to a few of my clients and like a few other strength conditioning coaches and stuff like that. It's like, I love the 40 and I understand what they're trying to get out of it, but it's not football. So it's like, when you take that time, it's like, how much of that is actually usable in a game?
Yeah, it's not everything. It's not everything.
Right. And you're just hoping, obviously you have a good time. So nobody can just say, oh man, he's a lot slower than I thought. That's really all you want. That's really all you, I mean, I guess I would say that's all you don't want.
We also have talked about in the past that scouts go through so many players and they kind of just look for any one little reason to write somebody off when they're trying to sort through all this data. And a lot of it might be very similar data in the sense that like 40 time, for example, like somebody's like 100 different players are off of each other's time by like 0.2 seconds. So it's like, how are you going to narrow it down?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking thousandths of a seconds off. Yeah, 4.4 versus a 4.8, 4.48. Like what is? I mean, again, the game of football is a game of inches. So I guess if that's what we're saying, like that 4 thousandths of a second is that inch that guy's not going to get there. I guess we can. I mean, the argument is there, and it's reasonable for to some extent, but
indicators. I mean,
yeah. I mean, again, like I said, it's kind of one of those things where at that point, if that's going to be your reasoning, then I guess that is what it is. If that 4 thousandths of a second kills your dream, then I don't really know.
Who really stood out to you? Was there anybody that was on your radar that is now off, or maybe wasn't that is now?
So there was a few guys that I would say not off my radar or on my radar, but like basically solidified themselves with regards to their draft grades. Jacoby Lane, the wide receiver out of USC, just smooth as butter. Watching him go through the gauntlet, seeing his route tree, stuff like that. I mean, it was fairly impressive. I didn't get to watch that much USC football, but I just heard his name, seen his name kind of pop up through the draft process and seeing his name, kind of come through some draft reports and stuff like that. But then also Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo. He didn't run the fastest. He didn't have the greatest hips. But like overall, watching him and what he could be and what I watch, I'm just like very, very, very upside for me is very intriguing. Like I looked at him as a safety and in the box, like out of the box, like I don't know. There's just so much I feel like can be done with him.
Right.
It was fairly impressive just to watch him move. His hips are a little high, a little tight, but like that's all stuff you can work on. You know, like with regards to the ability, like the game film I've watched of him, like watching it at the combine live, it was like, okay, I completely see if this kid goes first round, will not be surprised in the least bit.
Definitely.
Like there's probably only like if I'm looking at him and comparing him, there's probably 2, maybe 3 other safeties I would, take him over. Like that'd be pushing it. Like Caleb Downs
Sure.
and I'm trying to think of another safety off the top of my head who like really. Yeah, I mean, really, other than that,
Bud Clark for TCU.
I like Bud, and I really did like his workout. And again, I think for Bud, he has a really great upside. But at corner, I think he will. I'll say this: he can definitely play at the NFL. I just think at this point, I don't know if he'll start day one, which is fine. Like I don't see him starting day one, but he's definitely going to be a baller in the NFL. Like I could just see the ability for him. It's there. Like
The only
it
other
is
safety
definitely.
I would think of is Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina.
I did like Kilgore, but my biggest thing with Kilgore is I'm pretty sure I watched him drop a few balls. Now at DB, it's kind of understandable. But again, for me, like the speed for Kilgore was there. The hips were there, the feet were there, all the little things as a DB. Like I could definitely say, like with regards to what I would look for in a DB like him, he's there. Like I would say he's probably one of the. I would say he's most like NFL ready by me, but like he's definitely like ready to rock and roll. Like if you put him in as a starter, I wouldn't be surprised. Like he would be a guy for me that I could see like go to a specific team that needs some really, really big help at DB, and he could go in and start like right away.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely see that for sure. So, I mean, at this point for the.
What about the one that stood out to me just because UCF, Malachi Lawrence. I know you love your linebackers, so.
Yeah, I mean, so Malachi just had a great overall workout. It's going to be interesting to see, like, he had great production in college. And then, like, I feel like as a UCF, I feel like our defense, I don't know what it was about this year. Like, I feel like we didn't have, like, not to say Malachi went ghost, but, like, I feel like we didn't have those types of plays, I guess I would say. Like a star edge rusher, I feel like we would have had more, like, not more wins, but, like, more emphasis on our defense. I feel like our defense was not talked about at all in the Big 12.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think
like
one of the only true pieces. I mean, he cashed in 7 sacks this season, 14 tackles for loss. So obviously, it's a good season.
Right. Individually speaking.
Individually, exactly. It's a good point there you made. Individually speaking, UCF's defense is as an 11-man defense. No, they weren't up to par. But I guess in the sense that now that he's moved on, it's like that's him. That's him at the combine. It's his workout. It's his NFL draft stock, and you move forward and you try to do what you can there.
Right. And I mean, like I said, he ran great. His 10 split was great. 40 on vert, 10-10 broad. I mean, it's about as good as you can look for. Like I truly don't see him. Like I can definitely see for me, when I look at him as like a prospect, probably close to a year one starter. Like I guess it depends on what team he goes to, but like 100% in, if not this year, starting by the end of the year, like for sure starting like next season, wherever he goes. Like
Yeah.
he just has that high of a ceiling. And like obviously the combine put that into perspective for a lot of teams because he was definitely like a very talked about prospect throughout the weekend for sure. And then obviously if we want to talk about like how crazy the combine is, when Rueben Bain, who didn't even work out,
Short
you
arms.
know, like what is that? Like the guy. So, and here's the thing. So like Tay Yanta, our client, he's training out with one of the linemen from Miami out in Texas. Tay literally has said like he has like literally no clue what those guys are talking about because the center for Miami was literally telling him, he's like, he went against Markel Bell and Francis Magnoa from Miami every day in practice. They both have longer arms. They both are really good tackles. And he literally said there was no issues. Like, and again,
not, but it just goes back to what we said. The scouts find anyway. Like, I don't know. It reminds me of when I guess the team never came out, but a team told Fernando Mendoza to go get arrested to lower his draft stock. I mean, it might just be the same concept, but it's like we just
want
to throw a narrative in the pot because we want him to slip. Oh, his arms are too short.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's exactly what I think it is.
And if nobody takes him, that's just going to be like their loss completely.
Right.
Look at a player like Lamar, who fell so far in the draft, and you saw how prolific he was at Louisville. I mean, I think it was really the last time Louisville was any good.
Basically.
So you look at what he did there, and before the transfer portal, before NIL, and the Ravens obviously have had a lot of success since he's been there. I mean, we could talk about the Ravens in a whole episode, but yeah. So combine narratives and chatter is always fun.
It's crazy.
You had a good time, but if you want to switch over into the real NFL, there has been some releases.
Yeah.
There's been some releases and some one trade. If you want to maybe grade the McDuffie trade, and then we can get into some releases.
I mean, I guess it's the most Rams trade you'll ever see. I mean, I think they've traded every first round pick for the last like 8 years now. So it's not like it's really not like that surprising that they gave away a first rounder and some more for, a very good defensive back. So, I guess it's just literally the most McVay trade. I really was not that surprised because it's Sean McVay. Like if it was somebody
episode about how McVay just swings for the fences. It's you're trading away, what could be for what is, and then you're making whatever you can out of it.
I'm telling you, it's the same mindset. F them picks. Like that's just his mindset. Like he's not going to change. We've seen it for the last 7 seasons now. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't want rookies. He's okay with whatever rookies he does get because even Jared Verse from last year's draft from FSU had a stellar season, who was like a second round pick or whatever he was. It's like they'll pick whatever guys they really feel necessary. They'll take them when they need them. And, they do their due diligence on the rookies that they want and that they want to work with and that they want to be with and have in. So it's like until proven wrong or until they don't make the playoffs anymore, like what are they going to tell Sean? Stop trading our picks?
It's not like the NFL where the NBA. It's not like the NBA where you get your first round or your second round. NFL, you get 7 rounds, and then you also, which the NBA has, but you get to bring in a lot of guys that went undrafted. For workouts, practice, off-season practice squad.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
I guess OTAs. I don't know exactly how that works, but they're bringing in guys all off-season.
yeah.
And they have such a larger reserve for when it comes to practice squad. It's a whole other team basically that they can tap into, and it just seems like if the Rams are gonna kind of go big or go home, you got to back that up with some serious talent on the scouting side, so that that rounds 2 through 7 and beyond, you're making those decisions that are gonna help bolster what you're trying to accomplish, which is a championship, which they came close to this year, but obviously fell short. If you want to stay in the NFC West, the Cardinals just got rid of Kyler Murray, who I guess has more time to play Call of Duty now.
I guess. I mean, I don't know where Arizona is going, but just 2 steps back real quick to the draft
Sure.
from talk about Rueben. So basically, he was like 2 or 3, Jets or Cardinals. So now they have Ruben down all the way to 10th. Like
Whoever gets him is not going to be unhappy, I think.
But I mean, it's just insane to me
In
that
due
we were
time.
talking about. We were literally saying Fernando Mendoza, Ruben Bain for the longest time,
Sure.
and then literally he doesn't even compete at the combine, doesn't do anything but get measured, and then his draft stock still falls, or quote unquote falls. Like that's absurd to me. Like that is, I mean, I don't even know if working out at that point, once you got measured and they said about the short arm, does it even matter because it's not live. You're still going to get dumped. Like what? I mean, again, whatever. They have David Bailey from Texas Tech going over him. Like, okay, like it's still an outside linebacker, edge, whatever you want to call him nowadays. It's so hard to differentiate. But, anyways, we'll go back to Kyler Murray. But I don't get the Cardinals. I don't know where they're going. I don't know what they want to do. I mean, you had a terrible season last year. You're not going for a quarterback this year in the draft. So it's like, are you just – and who's going to throw the ball to Martin Harrison? I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett, but, like, you guys sure haven't proven to show love to him either, because you still, as good as a backup quarterback that Jacoby has proven to be. I mean, I just don't know where Arizona wants to go. That's my thing.
Right.
I truly have no clue where, when I look at Arizona as an organization, you're not winning the NFC West. You're not making the wild card at this point anytime soon. So are we in a rebuild now? Are we just going straight to rebuild? Hey, we released our first overall Heisman Trophy winner, pick. Now we're just gonna start all over. I mean, I guess.
That sounds like the only plausible decision. I mean, what are you going to do?
I that's what I'm saying. I just don't get the organization as a whole. I'm still trying to figure it out, because even at that point, if you're releasing him, who do you take to fill that franchise void?
If you're not taking your quarterback, then nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not taking the quarterback, you're not even taking the star edge rusher, aka Ruben Bain, at number 3. Because I mean, if you don't, I would just be. I don't know. It's just, again, we can move on from the draft, but for another one that got released, Stephon Diggs, like, that's not that surprising, honestly. The Patriots would have had to pay him a decent amount to stay. I just don't think it's worth the cap hit with the amount of wide receivers that are coming out this year. There's probably
He's going to prison.
Huh?
He's going to prison.
Who, Stephon?
No, not actually. Well, not yet.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like until
Yeah,
innocent
that's the
until
thing.
proven.
Like you on the business side, yeah, they would have had to pay him. On the personal side, he's got a lot of shit that he should be dealing with right now.
Of
So
course.
I don't think
I
the
mean,
Patriots. That doesn't really align with a team that just made it to the Super Bowl. And what did Stefan do in the Super Bowl
right.
anyway? I mean, it's just one game, sure, why not? But I
Yeah,
guess
the only
what
most
did the
important
Patriots
game.
really do in the Super Bowl? If we're being honest, I guess that's not really fair for me to just pinpoint it on him. But um, yeah, not surprising, like you said. To sum that up, not surprising. Um, good luck to him. Sure he has plenty of money anyway, so he should have just stayed with the Texans. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah, probably.
it is what it is, though.
Yeah, but anyways, moving on from the releases because I think that's really about it from the release standpoint, and NFL
Yeah.
side at least.
The Colts
And
put
but
the transition tag on Daniel Jones.
yeah, that's not surprising. I think they want to see if it was all luck, like if it was literally if it was all luck of the season, and obviously that injury didn't help. So instead of trying to pay him right off the bat for one decent season, let's just franchise tag him, and we'll figure out next year if it was really all that in a bag of chips, or if it was if it's worth our money, like
I think
long term speaking.
people want to say that it was a fluke
That's
because
what I'm saying.
and that he was getting carried. Well, yeah, and that he was getting carried by Jonathan Taylor. But I saw some of those Colts games, to be honest, and it did not look like a fluke. If I'm being honest, it looked like a player that got out of the shackles of the New York Giants. If you want me to be
Well,
honest,
of
um,
course.
Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones, like the argument that I have is okay. Daniel Jones had Saquon Barkley for I don't know 3 years, 2 years, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. What did they do? Nothing. I'm sorry. I guess they made the playoffs one year. But other than that, it was lackluster. Like you can't just say that Daniel Jones got carried by Jonathan Taylor when the stats don't lie on Daniel Jones' side either. And you look at passer rating and QBR,
Right.
like it's just a simple argument to say that that's just not true. That Jonathan Taylor is it true that when Jonathan Taylor went out, the Colts started regressing? Sure,
Yeah,
but
but a good run game that'll always happen to a good run game, especially to a at the time an MVP caliber running back. Like
right.
we were literally talking about how they were going to have an MVP candidate running back, and again, it's kind of one of those things. Like okay, like we haven't talked about an MVP running back since Derrick Henry, you know. So yeah, so it is kind of a big deal that yes, he did have a star running back, but again, that just is it's supposed to help your quarterback. Like I wouldn't say it's supposed to carry him, but yeah, a good run game is supposed to make throws easier. It's supposed to make your quarterback's life a lot easier when he's passing. Like that's just football. Like the guys who say, "Oh well, Jonathan Taylor's carrying him," it's like, no, Jonathan Taylor's doing his job while also making Daniel Jones's job easier.
Yes.
Like that's how it's supposed to work. It's like saying, "Oh, he's getting carried by his offensive line." Why? Because his offensive line is doing their job and protecting him. Like it doesn't. None of that makes sense to me. Like
Something the
not like
Giants O line can never do.
yeah. But again, even still, like if that's their job and they do it good, how can you blame the quarterback for also doing his job good? Now, if Jonathan Taylor was running the rock, 60 times a game, and Daniel Jones was only throwing 3 times, okay, that would be carrying. That's a whole other story. But that wasn't really the case. So again, all those people who say it like that, whatever. I mean, I'm not here to debate them, but that's not really how football works. So
Right. I want to switch to a little bit of March Madness as we close out here. Obviously, only a little because we're going to be talking about it for the rest of the month.
basically,
Is there any specific team or specific conference that you're looking at, or maybe a team in the top 25 that maybe shouldn't be there, or you want to just talk about the fact that Miami, Ohio might not even there's
I
thoughts
think
that
that's probably the funniest.
they
The
might not
Miami,
even make
Ohio.
the tournament.
Yeah, that might probably be the funniest with the Miami, Ohio going 30-0, and people still having issues with them not making it.
Right.
But I think it's funny because at this point BYU with what's his name,
Advanza.
yeah, with him staying, like considering staying and not declaring, that is like that's insane to me. Like the fact that BYU may be able to go on a March Madness run and then also be able to keep their future all together, that would just be insanity. Like BYU could just only be so lucky that they would get that opportunity. But I think,
All they got anyway. They're not really a good team. They're out of the top 25 now.
yeah, I think right now probably my biggest sleeper after watching them in person is probably Miami, like the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like the real Miami, I should say. No
Sure,
offense,
yeah.
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, right.
But again, from what I saw, just from the defensive perspective and the ability to score, I mean, two things that just when you think March Madness, that's what gets you through is a defense that's willing to, step in, block, crash boards, all that stuff, while also having an offense that'll run the floor, push the pace. It's kind of one of those things where if you have that gas going into the tournament, it'll carry you those first like all the way through to that Sweet 16. Sweet 16 is where most teams start to have that gas run out. So if they can get carried and use that gas all the way through to maybe the Elite Eight, I can definitely see Miami. I mean, I think the favorite is who? Florida at this point?
Michigan.
Duke, maybe? Michigan? They're all right. I could see Michigan going on a run for sure there.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona's pretty good. Yeah, I'd have to see how Arizona. I'd like to see Arizona kind of play a little better defense, but they're there. I mean, definitely. So I'm trying to see. Let's see who else sleeper wise. McNeese always kind of making it in every. I feel like McNeese is in there literally every other year or every year now. Like
Get the
I feel
boom.
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's kind of one of those things where we talk Cinderella stories and stuff like that, but it's like, how long are you a Cinderella when you keep doing it? Like you do it every year. Oh, Cinderella story, Cinderella story, Cinderella story. How many years in a row do you have to beat some of these big dog teams to finally be considered not Cinderella? Yeah. I'm just trying to figure that out because McNeese has kind of put their little stamp on it every time they kind of come through. It's not like they're like, oh yeah, we made it and we lost. Like a lot of times they do make it out of that first round and everyone's like, well, there goes my bracket, So how many times do they have to do that before they're considered, I don't want to say elite, but how much do they have to, how many do they have to do to, get to that respect level of, hey, we're here to play.
Right. No, absolutely. So, I think Illinois is an interesting story with all the international players that they have.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter.
But I know that they do have quite the number of international players, and they have a number of players international right now, like alumni. But I think that them combined with I don't want to say I want to say Alabama. I'm not super impressed, but it's like they did just lose to Tennessee. It was on the road. Pretty sure that I want to see the score of that game. Pretty sure it was a bad loss too, but
I mean, Tennessee is good, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Whoa! Oh wow! No, they lost.
Tennessee lost?
Yeah, that's crazy. They were up. They were up 12 after the first half. So I guess I only saw from the first half. But then yeah, Illinois and Alabama are my two teams. Alabama is a really interesting story because ever since Colin Sexton was there, they've always been a basketball team every year. You know, and what you just said, it's like how many years in a row do you have to do it to be considered? You know, like it's normal now. You know,
Right. Not to say you're a basketball school, but like to show that like, hey, this isn't some fluke. Like this isn't some Cinderella story. Because like even at that point, like a school who we know like produces professional athletes, like Alabama has produced basketball players, has produced athletes on most athletics. So it's like we're not saying Alabama is an overall great, powerful, non other than football Power Five, school, but like they definitely have athletic department that doesn't downgrade just because we're a football school. Like they have had teams come through from
for years now. That's why I'm saying I think that they're just chipping away and getting closer at really being able to win a national championship.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm trying to see exactly where, like the teams like Duke and Michigan and Arizona, UConn, like those big four, like those that are just basically guaranteed those first seeds. Like there are some teams that are going to come in that are going to have some dog in them. Like those 15 and 16 seeds, like some of those teams are going to be pretty good. Like they're not just going to be some.
Those small, low major, mid major conference winners are always ones to look at. And I think that every year, even though with this NIL transfer portal era that we live in, these teams, good players fall through the cracks. Good players go to different places to make a name for themselves and to stand out in the tournament. So I think we'll always have that Cinderella fairy tale-esque stories that we do get every March. So
I mean, it's what makes March great. So if it goes away, then where does March Madness go? Where's the madness in March Madness if we're not having
at that point?
It's like cancel the whole tournament at that point. Like we're wasting our time here. Like I literally watch the upsets. Like I want to see somebody show up and show like anybody can be beaten on any day.
Right.
Like it's just how you show up. Like do you show up wanting it more than that other team? And then you go from there. But yeah, I'm excited for this March Madness. I think this March Madness will probably be because I feel like even for the top tier teams, like those ones that we just talked about, like the Michigan, the Arizona, those top teams have shown flaws. Like they've shown that there are ways to beat them, and it's very rare that a March Madness is, I don't want to say there isn't just one team that has just been overly dominant to show like they're gonna just run through the bracket.
No,
like,
man, yeah, no.
Like that's just one thing about this March Madness. I feel like I've been watching and I'm just like, God, there really isn't a team that is just going to just get into the March Madness like 20. I mean, I guess if Duke gets on a roll and crushes the ACC tournament and just goes in hot, I mean, I guess you could say that's probably one of my, I hate to say it,
sure.
As I stare at my UNC Tar Heel banner here, we don't have what we need. So when I look at Duke and what they've done, even UCF, like if we go into that bracket and we have to play a Michigan or a top seed in that second round, because that's basically what I think our projection would be, is we probably have to play either a first or second seed after our game. UCF has the ability to show up and play and beat them.
Yeah, they always, this season especially, have played to the level of their competition.
Right, I agree with that 1,000%. So again, where we sit, where we go, where some of these teams end up, I think will say a lot about how the brackets turn out with regards to who's seated where will definitely be the key to your victory. Obviously, that's a kind of a given, but at the end of the day, it's also like it can make your life a million times harder too. It just kind of depends on, and it also depends on your momentum going into the tournament. Like we've seen it a bunch of times, like Auburn last year losing the SEC tournament and then going in and making it to the Final Four. It's like, would you rather have that or the year before where you win the SEC tournament and you lose to the Cinderella, Drake, or whoever it was that they lost to? Yale. I knew it was a Bulldog. I just couldn't remember. But yeah, you lose to Yale in the first round. So like, what is it that you want? What is like? Do you want the momentum of coming off a conference championship, or do you want to take the L that kind of puts you in a bad mood, but motivates you to be better the next game, and that next game happens to be the start of March Madness?
Absolutely.
So what do you want? What do you want? How do you want to go into your March Madness? So kind of one of those things where I guess it depends on the team, how they react to losses. Because if you're a team that just like you had multiple times in the year where you had back-to-back losses, 3 losses, and then you go on a 6-game win streak, but then you go back-to-back losses. What kind of team are you? If you got 1 loss, do you really want to take a chance of going into the tournament with another loss? Yeah, it just kind of varies. But again, like I said, I feel like every top seed, top 2 seeds this year have all proven that they're beatable. So it's like, I'm interested to see.
It should be a great March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to watch this year. I truly, I guess I'm still gonna rock with the Gators at this point for projection wise. I think overall they've probably shown me the most upside. I think Duke is probably right behind them, then Michigan and Arizona. So those would probably be my Final Four, I guess I would say, the 1 seed wise. But without going through and seeing where everyone's seated, I could give, once we get that, we'll give a better projection on where I believe, we'll put up our brackets and we'll put up our brackets and we'll show everyone where we're at and everything, kind of go from there.
Definitely. All right.
So,
well, we're going to close out here.
So, any last thoughts? Good?
Nah, I'm good. We're going to
get
ready for March here, and we'll be back with another episode soon.
Yep. All right. Perfect. All right. So for Will, for me, myself, and I, another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, a.k.a. No Cap Podcast, is in the books. Hopefully you guys like the new setup. We will be back and forth throughout the weeks, bringing on guests. We have a setup as well over here where we'll be expanding the camera angle so you guys will be able to see our guests as well. So it'll come out really great.
Absolutely.
All right. Perfect. All right. Another episode is in the books. Cheers, guys.
Peace.